Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Rodeo Time, the podcast. I believe it's episode 90. Yes, some applause. Some people celebrate 100. We celebrate 90 because Dale Brisby keeps it 90. We've got in the house I think this is your third Rodeo Time podcast, Mr. Cody Webster. You are actually...
Trace.
So Webb is here. We like to do a podcast with Webb because he's got an incredible story. But he's also here for another reason. And we've got a special surprise for his lovely bride. We got a fighting cow here.
Okay, what? We have a lot of fighting cows at home. Why is that a surprise for me?
Yeah, but we've got cameras here also. We'd like for you to get in front of her. We'd like for you to make a round.
Oh, okay.
But you know, some guys wear vests. We've got like one of those huge blow-up balloons.
Yeah.
The knocker ball.
The knocker ball. You've seen them. Have you seen them?
I've seen them.
That's why he requested you to be here so bad.
Did you know that's why? Did you lie to me when I asked you? Did you lie to your wife?
Nope.
Smash is really good.
I didn't know the info.
Bulls.
I know.
She'll step around them.
Barefoot. I've seen her fight them barefoot.
Step around
Yeah, I
them.
do barefoot.
So this should be a breeze. And you get to wear a helmet.
Legit.
They're kind of smaller than the ones that you've seen on Facebook. So that's why the helmet comes in. Your head won't be covered. It will be by the helmet, but not by the knocker ball. This is going to be good.
This sounds like it's going to be great. It sounds like it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
So we're gonna go do that, but first we're gonna have this podcast. So tune in to Rodeo Time 90, the podcast. Check out dalebrisby.com for all the Cody Webster merch.
Also, I'm
Merchandise.
Leroy, this is Donnie. We're here too.
Dice.
Oh yeah, sorry, Donnie and Leroy are here also. We're dual sound men. Dual sound
Don't
men.
touch my soundboard.
Yeah, we've got Donnie and Leroy running sound.
Stop, you're turning it down.
And now on to the podcast.
Oh, do we need this?
Yeah, we need the intro music.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Rodeo Rex.
Oh.
That's gnarly.
What'd you do?
That's a bad knockout. That's a bad wreck on Rodeo Rex.
She just posted it. Oh, where he got knocked out before he even came on.
Yeah. That's bad news, Bears.
How you go live on Facebook? I hadn't been live in a while.
I thought they stopped letting you go live.
Me?
Yeah.
No?
Or was that Instagram?
You can't go live on Instagram?
We'll find out. We've got Mr. Cody Webster in the house. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Rodeo Time, the podcast, along with Smash Webster. We're also on Instagram Live. IG let me go live today, so Facebook wouldn't.
Yeah, baby.
What's the deal, Mark Zuckerberg? You've been doing a lot on social media.
He don't know.
He don't know.
Is it cooler if we're in shades?
Okay, cool.
I mean, I am.
Does.
I do
like
all the
it.
time.
I'm going shaded.
But I got something to hide, so I'm a man of mystery.
I'm not hiding anything. I just wearing a pair of shades.
Yeah, you just like to shade up. These lights are bright.
They are.
Where are you just coming from?
Man, we just flew home, I guess, a couple days ago. Sunday, I went from New York City to Denver, stock show for the PBR. New York City PBR, Denver's PBR. From there to Chicago's PBR. Flew home Sunday. Went and watched Cody Gertzen at the IFR, and now we're at the beaches.
Now you're at the beaches. Did you go to those?
No.
No?
I went to the IFR.
You've been doing real estate stuff, huh? Is that
Yeah.
what you're doing?
I've been doing some
Paying
real
the bills,
estate.
son.
She's been the one actually paying the bills.
Well, I mean,
I've been doing a lot of different things at home, but yeah, it's one of them.
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
been good.
If you're watching on IG, ask some questions to our man, Cody Webster. What is it? Is it 4-time? What Emmy finals?
I don't know. It's gotten a bit complicated.
8-9-time NFR bullfighter of the year 2 times. And how many times at the PBR World Finals?
Would have been 8, but thanks to the vid,
The 1-9?
it's 7.
7. Gotcha. Yep. Cool. So, yeah, ask your questions. I'll come back here in a minute, and I will check these questions. We'll check with the crowd. So you just got through. We're on the 20th day, 19th day of January as we're recording this, and you've already been to how many events? How many perfs have you fought?
Perf wise would be 3 at the Texas Circuit Finals, 2 at New York, 3 at Denver, 2 at Chicago. So,
and didn't you figure up how many bulls you got in front of last year?
Yeah, I did a little statting on our way to the NFR. Just some guys are kind of asking, like, how many bulls do you think you fight a year? And I was like, man, I really don't know, to be honest. But just on what I had on the books was over. I think after the NFR is going to be like 4,700 bulls in 2021.
Is that all?
Is that all?
That's just competition. That's not bull schools or practice bulls or, anything like that. That's just straight what I had basically booked jobs.
So you've always, you're a fan of freestyle. You've been freestyle fighting for a long time, but you've kind of eased up because of your numbers getting so high.
Yeah, it's just scheduling. I still crave and love freestyle bullfighting, but it's something that, you can have a really, really good day, a really, really good bullfight, and you're still going to be beat up and a little bit sore the next day.
Uh-huh.
And that's normal. That's nothing to change your mind about. But being where I'm at in my career, being the jobs that I have with the PBR, with the PRCA, getting to go to all these great rodeos, it's to me, I can't take any more on. That's legitly. I don't want to book anymore just because my body is. It's a grind.
Yeah, 4,700 bulls. Bull riders, they might get on 100 in a year.
Yeah, I think you're going to be somewhere around that 150, 150, 160 a year if you're going pretty hard.
Right, if you're going hard.
But
if you're getting on just 2 a weekend, that's 104. You know, if you get on 3 a weekend, then if I'm not mistaken, that's 156. But the point is, bullfighters, you guys got to get on. You guys got to get in front of everything out at that performance. So that's a good.
And I think like that's kind of a testament of what has really been going on. And I've had this schedule. I think 2012, the year before I got the NFR for my first time. I had a pretty large schedule, and so basically going on a good 10 years solid of this many bulls a year, close to it.
Right.
And it's kind of a double-edged sword in my opinion, because talking with some guys, it's fighting that many bulls, it's really, really easy to stay sharp. You can keep your edge, you can stay where you want to be. But on the flip side of that, a bunch of little injuries, don't have to have a big crazy injury, but just little small things kind of start totaling up, adding up. And then, I think that every athlete's going to go through this. If you're doing what we're doing at this many performances a year, there's going to come times that you're going to have mental strains, walls to break through and to stay on top of your game. And I owe a lot of that to my team and Ashley and what we do there at home is being around cattle every day, seeing bulls every day. It's no big deal at all to get like a full-on gym workout and then literally walk out of my shop, go right into my arena, and go right into my footwork drills and fight live cattle, a couple days a week. So I think that's a big testament of staying sharp and, showing up and doing your job at a high level for 4,700 bulls a year. That's saying something.
How many people do you think get in front of that many bulls a year?
Man, I'm going to narrow it down. I'd probably say maybe 4, 5.
Yeah.
5 guys.
5 or 6 of you guys. Yeah. That's a bunch. Let's see if anybody's got any questions. How many bulls did you get in front of in 2021 there? Smash?
Was that this year that I fought that one the other day?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I fought my calf the other day. My Highland cow had a...
Well, she had a big wreck in 2021.
He asked me what I was doing. He didn't ask
Yeah, but you're not going to bring this one up, and we have to bring this one up.
Well, it'd be cooler if you'd have got it on video, but...
Well, she was getting you.
So, yeah. So I had to fight one of the cows. All the boys fought her, and she didn't fight any of them. And Cody's like, just fight her. I completely didn't want to, and she took a horn to me, all right?
Where did the horn get you?
In my hamstring.
Hamstring.
She started the hamstring anyways and went right on straight up that right cheek.
We've got Rodeo Life Dakota is asking when the next bull school is. So Cody does these. He calls them bull schools. It's a bullfighting camp, if you will, kind of like basketball camp when you were in if you played basketball for 3 days, but it's with
shot calling.
It's with a basketball that could put a horn in your hamstring.
Yeah.
Yes, very well. To answer that question, we get our stuff's blown up 24/7 on when's the next camp, and to be honest, I don't have anything planned right now just because it's dead of winter. We're having to feed, take care of everything, plus a full schedule, but
plus it's calving.
Plus calving season. So when things warm up and the green grass starts popping, March, April, May is kind of going to be our hot months to do some bull schools.
This is a pretty interesting one. Oscar, the burned doodle, says, were you ever scared at any point in your career?
Man, I'd have to say probably the biggest fear that I have is not so much of the bulls or really bulls don't scare me. They don't. But my biggest fear is not making that save, not making the right move to keep somebody safe, because I think it goes kind of underrated of what people, it's pretty easy for us to really put into perspective of, dumbing down the situation. But what we do is dangerous. What we do is got a large price to pay if things go wrong. And I think that's where my fear is not showing up to do my job or make that save.
What's your favorite movie, and are you reading anything?
Ooh, favorite movie.
Depends on if he's sick or not.
Yeah, if I'm sick, it's Lonesome Dove. Let's just put it on.
Dang, nice.
Get the chicken noodle soup out and just roll with it. But probably still watch a lot of film weekly.
What's your favorite movie?
I don't know.
Just tell the people. Don't be embarrassed.
It's Rush Hour.
Okay.
Rush Hour is my favorite movie.
They've got a couple people asking, what's your favorite rodeo? What's your favorite summertime rodeo?
Ooh, my favorite rodeo. It's kind of a toss-up right now. I really, really love Cheyenne. 10 days, afternoon perfs. Something about being in that sand and being a kid growing up, seeing the Lane Frost videos, and it's just Cheyenne. It's the daddy. It's really cool and lots of bulls. But Reno, Nevada is another rodeo that I've come to really, really like.
Yeah,
it's a 10-day rodeo, and
it was probably pretty
awesome.
electric this last year with JB.
It was real electric.
Riding
it was
good there.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Do you actually have a home, or do you just travel and fight bulls?
No, we got a home.
Yeah, love from Australia.
Believe it or not,
that's what they said. I thought there was another question in here I was about to ask you. This one's kind of, can you teach us what exactly is the trick to fighting bulls? So maybe to kind of rephrase that question, let's ask, what would be the number one fundamental before you walk into the arena? Like, what's the most important thing you need to remember or do when you're fighting bulls?
Number one fundamental, if you're cowboy protection, it's saving guys. I mean, that's, that you want to have the smooth nights. You want to have everything to be perfect, working as a team or whatever. But at the end of the day, whether it's right or wrong, you got to save the guys.
Yep.
That's number one.
Yeah. And this guy asked, when's the next bull school, a bunch of times. What's the wreck you've ever seen at the NFR?
What's the worst wreck?
Worst wreck you've ever seen at the NFR?
Ooh. I don't know. There's been a handful over the years that's kind of come down the wire. Steve Woolsey getting his head stomped. A real bad knockout. I think maybe my first year to go. Multiple broken bones. JB this year, hanging up, knocked out. It's kind of normal for JB, but for the rest of the world, they kind of thought that was a little rank.
Cool. One more question.
Okay.
Sorry. I was reading a question as I said that.
I'm not listening to you at all.
Who do you think you fight bulls like, Rob Smets or Miles Hare, and why?
Neither.
Neither?
I'd have to go. I really patterned myself off Frank Newsom. Guy that's been around for so long, has been in the freestyle, has been in the protection, and is probably the toughest guy I know.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad day and you think you need to limp, just think about him and you'll start walking a little better.
All right, I'm going to log off of this this Instagram Live. Thank you guys for all the questions. You go follow Cody Webster, official Cody Webster on Instagram. And this is his beautiful wife, Smash Webster, on Instagram. Especially if you want to learn what bullfighting is all about. If you want to get in a bull school, then if you are currently fighting bulls, you can watch his videos on YouTube, or you can get in that bull school. So go check him out. Thank you guys for listening in on the live. And y'all got any questions for our man over here? I got a bunch I want to talk about. I just wanted to do the Q&A on Instagram Live. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't really have any questions. No, we talked before.
Okay, Leroy, quieten down.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
Leroy.
Thank you.
We, real estate. How long you been a realtor?
3 years.
Yep. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Sometimes I really enjoy people, and sometimes I remember why I stay in my house on the weekends occasionally. So,
yeah.
But no, it's really good. I really like selling real estate. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of cool people.
Have you come across any, you get a lot of stuff and you see it before the market does. Is there anything that's just like, oh my gosh, I want to live there?
Yeah, I've seen a few places like that. Cody always vetoes it, but
right.
I don't veto it. I don't know.
There's a lot of cool ranches in Oklahoma. I always tell people that Oklahoma's the best kept secret. Yeah. All of California's, everybody wants to move to Texas, but
which is totally
I hate
fine.
to put that out on the podcast because we've got some really nice ranches up there.
Absolutely.
It's pretty.
There's a lot of really good grass in Oklahoma.
There is.
The grass is strong.
Yes. Yeah.
Really good country.
Y'all have got a beautiful place, though. It'd be hard to beat that.
Yeah.
Y'all have got a pretty sweet place. Right outside of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's come so far.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna get the address
if
they're going to the bull school.
Yeah, you have to sign it. You have to sign a.
Have you seen the?
It's NWA. It's a rap group, right?
Yeah. Have you seen real estate prices taper off a little bit?
Yeah, it seems like the market's slowing a little bit, just a touch though. But it's also winter and nobody's selling a lot of stuff. It's kind of ugly.
Time of year too.
Yeah.
As you know, in the business.
I mean,
in the biz,
I wouldn't say they just took a fall or anything. They're still there.
Lisa manages the warehouse, manages Dale's life, everything, and she her best friend's a realtor, and so anyway, she'll come in and help us in Black Friday, and I'm surprised she's not here this week, but her name's Amy Pratt. She's pretty big realtor in this area, in this county, but anyway, she so we get to talk to her all the time. We'll all go to dinner or something. She's always talking about stuff like that. She said it was kind of tapering off a little bit, but
just a
still
touch,
pretty hot in this area.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
we
a lot of people want to come be cowboys.
I love being a cowboy.
Yeah, You've seen what?
Oh, Oklahoma's seen a little market shift this year due to some legislation that passed.
Right.
So we had some hot commodities of properties.
And
Interesting there.
have you had any? So like being a realtor, I'm just intrigued with this, y'all. So we're taking a break from rodeo because I want to ask a realtor about real estate. I'm sure it seems like it'd be really tough because you said sometimes you want to just sit at the house. Like you get that call or text from somebody that they want to go look at a property or a house, and you are just 99.8% sure they're not going to buy it. And so it's just going to be like a waste of your time. Do you ever get, and I'm sure there's a lot of times where it is a waste of your time, but then occasionally it's not and they end up buying it. Have you had those instances where you're just completely shocked? Or maybe it's the opposite. You thought they were going to buy it and they didn't, or you thought they weren't.
I've had both happen for sure. And you can show somebody houses and they can look at them online all day long, and you're like, okay, I got a good feel for what they want, and they'll send you something out of the blue. It's completely different, and you're like, this is nowhere near what we have talked about. And then they're like, yep, I want to buy this. I'm like, okay, well, that's what we're doing today. Like, I mean, it's interesting to see that. But when you're buying a house, I always tell my clients, like, I've got clients I've showed tons of houses to, and they're like, I'm so sorry we're wasting your time. I'm like, you're not wasting my time. You're not buying a daggone backpack. You're buying a house.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just part of the process.
You want to make the right sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not in it to sell somebody something. Like, I'm just there to coordinate the transaction for them to buy what they want. Like, I don't need to talk it up or sell it to you. You're going to know if you want to buy it.
I know you guys dabble in like rental stuff. Do you ever get to see stuff come across your plate before it goes on the market that might be a good?
Yeah. Occasionally. It hits the MLS, and I got it set up on my searches, so I get an email.
Right.
So, yeah.
What other business do they have that you want to share?
What? That's not a secret. Is that a secret?
No, it's not a secret.
That's not a secret.
No.
The man.
You have to, like, and especially like with rodeo.
Yes,
bull
let's get into
riding
that.
to where
I'm joking.
where
I
things
giving
was
you
a
hard
year
time.
ago. I mean, like,
Oh.
but legit people. I mean, you get kind of that tunnel vision, and I mean, it's good to be zoned in and 100% in on what your craft is and what you're going for. But at the same time, you got to be looking out that, you know, this rodeo deal and bull riding, anything, it can end, you know, quick.
Right.
And multiple streams of income we always talk about.
Yeah.
I call you like on the you know, all the time talking about, well, what do you think about this? What do you think
Different
about
ideas
that? Like,
and
you've got to be trying to push the envelope to get something else rolling.
yeah, you got to have multiple streams of income. Like,
Yeah, most people don't have a regular job, do you?
I think the last time we even talked about this scenario was when you were here, but we were talking about like, because we get a lot of rough stock guys in here. I mean, timed event is not that much older of a retiring age, but a retiring age for bareback, bull rider, bronc rider, I mean, like 45, you're old. That's ancient as far as getting on, you know, and then above that, it's just kind of unheard of. And I'm not knocking it. You can do that. If you're 45 and you want to get on, that's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But across the board, if you're looking at the average retiring age, it's like 32, 3, you know, that's getting up there. You'll have an occasional guy that's 35 or 6, maybe getting on a bull and being successful. So,
making a living.
Right, making a living. So at that point, if you've not kind of thought about what else can I have lined up, you know, I mean, obviously, like you just, then all of a sudden, if you're completely focused on that alone, period, now all of a sudden you look up, you're 37, you're completely done. It's just like, well, what am I going to do? Now,
And it goes quick.
In my opinion, I think 37 is still pretty young, considering other careers. You know, like that's still really young, and I think with the right attitude, you can start at 0 at 37 and still be successful. You can 5-6 years have some side hustle that's turned into a main hustle, and you can, by the time you're 42, you got a pretty good thing going, you know?
Right.
And that's not a bad age to have a pretty good thing going. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I've watched Webb and Smash over the last several years, and you guys, you've got a vision, and you're not
It's
oblivious to that age where it's like, okay, I might need to be shifting my,
just
my
having
focus.
something going. I mean, I'm still young in the game, I feel, but at the same time, I look up and I've been at some rodeos from 10 to 12 years already.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy smokes, where did that go? But at the same time, Smash, she's the wizard of everything at the house and businesses and keeping me going. I'd hate to see where things would be if I didn't have her, because it's a lot to take in and keep going.
Yeah. If I didn't have Lisa, I would just have like a box of shirts in the back seat of my truck. It'd be me and Leroy.
Still do.
But I'm saying that's it. There'd be no warehouse.
There's no warehouse.
There'd be no warehouse. There'd be none of that. Yeah. So, what are you laughing at,
Yeah, I
Donnie?
can just picture you driving down the highway in the old Dodge, like driving to like
Oh, yeah.
Saxton or Cheyenne, and setting up a little sign.
I was thinking,
Hey, y'all want some shirts?
Buy your shirts.
How do you think we got started?
Exactly.
Well, that's how we
Selling 'em out
got.
of the trunk of my car.
That's how we got started. But
Dude,
that's where we'd still be.
I remember that first video, like not the first one, but like pretty close to the first. Like we all went down and you got on that big old steer like
Yeah.
5 times, and
Yeah.
we had to have GoPros. We had all kinds of stuff set up, just trying to get the right angles to make this
Yeah.
look like a legit bucking bull. I mean, it was.
It
Right.
was.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Was that
Well,
the
that-
one with the basketball hoop?
Yeah. When I dunked on Jordan Minor.
Times have changed.
I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man. We still weren't really. I mean, like we had a couple of shirts then. but,
No,
like,
it was fresh. It was new.
I was using like copyrighted music, and it was multiple years before I made $1.
yeah.
Like I was just doing this for fun, like making people laugh, and then finally we turned it into a business. Probably, yeah, a good 3 years after the first video,
Straight up.
which would have been 6 years after the first prank phone call.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
It's neat, man.
But that makes me empathetic, because I feel like that's one of the reasons that we're able to do a good job with our marketing and our branding is we legitimately love what we do, and some people happen to find the videos entertaining, and so like entertaining those few people is enjoyable to us, and that's how we brand and market this product. Well, then if you look at people that come to the internet to make money, they're like, they screenshot something off their website and throw it on Instagram, and it gets 9 likes, and 8 of those are their aunts and uncles. It's like I'm empathetic to that person because, they've prioritized the money over the, where the money came later. We were having fun. This is what we wanted to do. We enjoyed making people laugh. And then the money came later, kind of like you with fighting bulls.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like you loved it and you were passionate about it, period. And then the better you got at it, the bigger rodeos you got, the money came later.
Yeah.
The sponsors came later.
Yeah, there's a lot of years and miles and
Right.
going to McCloy's rodeos for
Yep.
having to like literally sell cotton candy to be able to make enough diesel money to drive home. You
Yeah.
know, like, and I wouldn't
Still
trade.
got that cotton candy machine too.
Yeah, I still got that candy machine.
Just in case.
Did you bring it?
I didn't bring it.
Multiple streams of income, baby.
I love that story. That's
There
one of
when
my
you-
favorite stories.
But yeah, it's legit, man. Like I blew my ankle out and broke some bones and had to have a big surgery, and by the time all the time was put together, it was about a year out, and I was trying to do a little bit of leather work on the side, but at the same time, like I could go to all them junior rodeos, and man, a box of sugar doesn't cost anything at all.
How much would you gross? What's the most you think you grossed in one evening selling
Like
cotton candy?
over 1,000.
Oh. And that's not bad for a kid.
No, I mean being 17 years old and
A kid? I'd be happy to make that.
I didn't realize.
You got another one of the machines? You know?
well, I
lease
mean,
it
I
in
might,
here?
I might
we'll
lease
lease
it out.
have a little
Do a
franchise.
lease to own or
Yeah.
rent to own?
But that was legit, man. Like I did what I had to get by, like to keep my truck payment, keep my phone on, and
I didn't realize you were
camper payment.
17. I thought you were younger than that.
No, I was 17. Just won the big bullfights in Ada, Oklahoma, the Rex Dunn's World Championship bullfights, and that was Saturday night. Sunday we show up to my grandpa's to rope, and nobody had showed up. All my cousins around there, so we're all bucking these. Our like bull riding and bullfighting pin was connected to the roping pin at the time, and so I'm like, come on guys, let's buck these steers, So we're bucking them, and they're over it. They're like, this ain't fun no more. And won't you get on, Cody? Won't you get on? I was like, I'll get on her. So I get on this Lolo Corriente roping heifer, and she throws me over her head, and I land, and it's funny and all. And then her back feet came down and just broke my leg, shattered my ankle, tore every ligament that I had, So I'm like, and I knew instantly something wasn't right,
Dang.
So I crawl over the side, and I'm like, I'm jacked, man. I gotta go to the hospital. This is messed up. So I go, and yeah, your leg's broke, whatever. You cracked your ankle too, like no big deal. We'll put it in a cast. Long story short, come back, and the first I was at Sevi Totoro's. He was bucking bulls quite a bit then, and there's a little white muley, cute little booger. And I'm like, I'm headed to go get around him, and as soon as I step to go around him, my ankle completely like rolls up, touches my calf again, and I'm just like, oh, dang, this ain't good.
So do you think it wasn't like there was something still wrong?
Yeah. So all I knew was the bones are broke, and I thought things were healed up and I was good, So like that first one I come back, it rolled completely over again and hurt and felt stuff move. So I crawl over the fence, climb over, jump my pickup, and drive straight home. Go back, get another cast, set out for however long, and then come back. And had like a big air cast I was putting on, plus taping my own ankle. And I was going to some bull ridings and was getting by, feeling pretty good. But I just felt like I was dragging my leg. Like I never could get over, I was like, man, I just need to work out harder. I need to train more. So I was trying to work out on it and train more, and it just never was. Like I was constantly dragging a weight behind me.
Yeah.
And then I was going to some bullfights again, and I got to where if I needed to throw a right hand fake, I would just step across and throw it backwards off my left leg. Throw a normal fake to the left off my left. Everything I was doing was off my left leg because it was strong, and I could still make it work. And I thought, man, this is what I'm gonna have to do, till this leg gets right. And then finally I went and got an MRI, and me and Nathan are headed to Nathan Harp, NFR bullfighter. We're headed to a bullfight in Stephenville a couple of days after I got that MRI, and it was Dr. Bob, and he's like, hey, Cody, what's going on? I'm like, man, headed to the bullfight, go win some money. He's like, man, we're going to have surgery next week. I'm like, surgery? You're kidding me. Like, why? Like, my leg's healed up. It's good. He's like, no, man, you don't have a ligament left in your whole entire ankle. Dang. And then my Achilles tendon was just almost completely in two because of the way everything was shifted. He's like, we got to have surgery next week. You're going to be done if you want to keep fighting bulls. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I want to keep fighting bulls, so.
So surgery, long surgery, took a long time to get over it. Lots of therapy, and I got some pig tendons in my ankle now, and pretty sure some stuff's tore since then, but I'm still holding up pretty tight and still rolling.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long was the recovery?
Man, it took I know just to get out of the cast and get in a boot and then get to go into therapy, it was a little over 5 months. Yeah. And then was another 3-4 months getting strong enough and to fight bulls, how I was.
It sucks. There's that moment. I can think of a couple of injuries where for me, it's deep down there's nothing wrong, but you can also function. When my back, I had those herniated discs. I can walk, I can ride a horse. Nothing's broke.
Right.
But I just knew something wasn't right, and and then I just kept that right side just kept like being, and then come to find out, it's not the X-ray doesn't show anything, but then you get an MRI and it's like, oh yeah, these 3 discs are pushing against this, whatever, and you find out something serious. And then like with my collarbone, like it just didn't feel right, but it didn't hurt. I was just like, so I just kind of kept going.
It's crazy what you can get used to, like,
right?
Legitimate like pain on a daily, what you can block out, get used to, like.
Because you think that you're fine, or you think that like, oh, my old man, like first time we got on anything, my old man was like, you need to learn the difference in pain and an injury, like just pain being hurt or it being an injury. And like if you kind of hyperextend something, it's gonna hurt for a few weeks, or as opposed to like tearing all the little ligaments in your ankle. Like there's a difference there, and
kind of important for what we do.
I've not ever learned to like really, I always kind of err on the side of like, it's just pain. And then occasionally you'll mess yourself up and just be.
Yeah. There's days Smash is like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I don't know. Like it.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
Yeah.
Like this last deal with my collarbone, like I broke it last March, thought I was great. Couple months later, and then got on all summer and just wasn't feeling good. And then finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back in and get it x-rayed. And it was like Tandy said it was a non-union. The bones were not connected. Scar tissue had
stuff around it.
And so the pain was, but anyways, stuff like that. It's just like, you just don't know, anyways, it's crazy. There's, like, because you don't want to be a hypochondriac. I think that's every cowboy's fear. You don't want to be that guy that's always crying wolf, go get an x-ray every time there's.
No, I mean, you got to be tough. You got to be able to withstand pain, and, especially like in the heat of the summer or heat of the winter, when we're going so hard, like 2 years ago, I had a bull stick a horn in my leg, and like it like didn't physically like go through my leg, but like it tore all the muscles, and basically like having a ball of hamburger and like sticking your thumb through it is what this horn did to my leg. And so then like wasn't too big a deal, I didn't think, but then we hit San Antonio and I start having a bunch of pain coming up into my butt, and then it was really hindering me to be able to get around and do what I need to do. But that's a little bit more than just a sprained ligament or whatever, it was legit something that needed to heal and have time, but also something that if you can withstand it, get through and do your job and make your living and get home and get healthy.
Do you know of anybody going in any event that is still going but has had more injuries, surgeries than JB Mooney?
Man, I would have to say Shane Proctor is right there.
Really?
Right there with him. Shane is another guy that, to me, is one of the toughest guys I know. Like what was it, one summer there that he showed up to Cody, and he's in the bronc riding and the bull riding, and it completely blew his knee out the night or 2 nights before. Yeah. So, I mean, like, he can't even get around, and I'm like, dude, you all right? Like, surely he turned out, I'm thinking. He's like, no, I'm going here, and then we're headed to wherever after this, like hitting 2 or 3 rodeos in that one day.
And he usually has a pretty big smile on his face.
Yeah, he doesn't even like, it's like your leg's about to fall off. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get on here in a minute. I'm like, okay.
Like this year, man, like I'd say this year, last year we were at Ellensburg, and he's on the cut, he's had a rough go. He's broke his leg. He's did this. He's battled through and is right on, I think like 15, 16, 17, right on the bubble, making the finals. And like he makes a great ride, but completely just rips everything out of his shoulder in that long round. Well, in order how that extreme finals is set up, you have to attempt your bull in order to get your average money. Well, like he was 89 or 90, whatever it was in that long round. So like he's at the top, man. And we're all in sports medicine. He's like, no, I'm turning out. I can't. And they come in there and it's like, well, if you turn out, you're out of the average. He's like, what do you mean I'm out of the average? I'm I'm still going to pick up a good check. And they're like, no, like if you turn out, your average is gone. Like it's however it breaks down. It's the rules on the finals. And he's like, I'm getting on. I'm going to figure it out. So like he just tapes his arm, tapes it all to his side and gets his vest on. And then like didn't take a wrap or nothing. He told us, he's like, I'm on a nod and I'm going to come blowing out. Like that's how it's going to be. And sure enough, and he draws a Chad Burger Bull. I mean, this is a bucking ranked dude. I'm just like, God, this is going south, but he rolls out and gets through the deal and ends up being like second or third and ends up making the finals. It's like, I've seen some crazy tough stuff like these guys go through, and it's just a reminder.
And it's crazy. Like in that moment, it's not about the money. It's about the fact that the way they keep score to get to the finals is through dollars.
Yes.
It's great. He needed that check for his bank account, but he did that so he could go to the NFR. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about Sterling Crawley or somebody the other day. Like
Sterling's another one that's just so tough.
Dirty tough. Yeah. And
unbelievable.
Some of these guys just, the only reason they care about money is that's how they keep score. The PRCA, that's how you decide who's going to the NFR. Is how much money's won. All right, well then I'll try to win a bunch of money. Like, I don't care how much it costs me to get there, so long as I get there.
Well, I mean, you're going to make a little money. You have a successful year, but I mean, really, to really get ahead, put some money back, buy something, it's making the finals and doing good.
And I'm not knocking it at all. Like, I'm just as passionate about rodeo as the next guy. Like, I get it. So, like, any of these guys that, I got a lot of respect for somebody 35, 36 that ends up being done and they don't have much to their name, but they've got, because, if you try to look through the lens of money at success, if you try to look to, you're just going to get lost. Like, it's not about money. If it was about money, we wouldn't be rodeoing, period. Now,
you got to love what you do to do this.
There's two extremes, and what you and I are talking about is like, because there's some of those 35, 36-year-olds that won some pretty big checks, and they just completely blew it.
Yes.
And so that's also not necessary. So, like, if you win the money and you got the money, well, like, be wise with it, that doesn't cost extra. That's free. That you can be wise with. Call, smash, invest in some real estate or something, and
we'll get you fixed up.
But the point is like, just because somebody doesn't have money doesn't necessarily mean. I think I heard somebody the other day, bigger is not always better. Better is better. And I was just thinking about money. Like
better is better.
Like a bigger check isn't always. Like in any, not just rodeo, but like, all right, you get a bigger check, but maybe it's a 2-week on, 2-week off deal, and now your daughter doesn't know your name.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, bigger isn't always better. But anyways, whatever. What do y'all think about money? What do you think about money, Donnie?
I like it because you can gamble with it. But, I mean, other than that,
Donnie was lighting it up in Vegas. Like he
lighting it up at how?
Just gambling.
Oh yeah,
I was running amok.
Gambling.
He was lighting it up as in he lost so much he helped them keep the lights on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very true statement.
How much were you down?
Just 1,400.
Just
1,400.
Which 14 days. That's $100 a day. It's a pretty cheap trip.
Yeah. For Las Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think about money, Leroy?
Dang, I thought it saved this Tootsie Pop wrappers. I thought it had the star on it, but it doesn't.
Oh, the Indian with the dang. All that saving it for nothing.
What a letdown.
When did you have a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know, but I don't know why.
One of those.
Yeah, where? I'm just curious where you got that at, or why you had it and I didn't have one.
Well, I thought I'd probably save that wrapper as it had the star on it, but it didn't. I don't know. It's
on to the next one.
Fine.
good question.
What do you think about money, Leroy?
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
It is evil, but you got to have it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't enjoy having some of it in my pocket, but I don't know.
It's not about everything, though. Like, legit, I mean, like, if that's what you're after, and, like, I know just for like, myself, like, you have to enjoy what you do. And, like, bullfighting, rodeoing, it's free, man. It's freedom. Like, it's legit the coolest thing that I'm my boss. I'm my coach. I don't know, man. It's freedom. I mean, like, we get to travel and do things that people dream of getting to do, and we get to do it while we're getting to rodeo, you know? Like, it's, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, huh, Smash? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly great. I mean,
mostly.
Sometimes your obsession is a little hindering to other aspects of your life, but it's not.
How you mean?
Oh, get out of here.
Oh, every day. I mean, people don't even understand what goes on at the ranch as far as what he does outside. They're like, oh, yeah, Cody Webster, he's so good. He fights a rodeo. I'm like, I don't even see what he does the other 6 days a week.
Does it have to do with that legislation thing, or?
No. I wish we would have gotten that early. No, just
I know what you're saying. I think, well, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I don't know as well as you do. But the other thing that comes along with that is, I mean, we're not necessarily talking about hobbyist here.
No.
No, that's the other part that we got to remember, because I'm sure like Tom Brady's wife thinks the same about him.
Yeah, we can
You know what I
probably
mean?
we
When
could
we're
probably
talking
have
about-
a good conversation about our husbands.
When we're talking about being a best quarterback of all time, like all of a sudden, like at what cost? What does that take to be that? And,
What sacrifice?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but football, much like rodeo, has kind of an early retirement age, and I'm sure that when that time comes, he's gonna spend a lot more time with his kids and family than he does now. But right now, it's
Well, and I think too, though, like, I mean, Ashley gets it. Like, you doing what we do, you can't slip up, man, because, like, not only like are you allowing yourself to be in that predicament to get hurt bad, but there's other people relying on what I do for safety, bull riders. And like I said, man, people, I think it's something that we turn our head to so much, or we get so used to, or I don't know exactly how you would break it down or explain it, but it's that dangerous. Like, people legit die doing what we do. And if I'm not all in and I'm not craving it and living it every day, then, your game's going to start slipping, and legit somebody can get hurt bad,
Yeah.
And I think we both grasp that and understand that really well, but at the same time, like, it's crazy, man, to see the young guys coming up that just want to jump right into the business and start at the top, like thinking that they're going to go do this and do that and not have to put any of the work in and whatever. And I mean, if you're lucky enough to get that, I guess enjoy that ride. But at the end of the day, I don't think you're going to quite enjoy or appreciate exactly what you're really getting to do,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got to go to New York City, be in Madison Square Garden 2 weeks ago. One of the most famous arenas of sports. Like, you go to really breaking that down. I'm walking the streets of New York City. I'm flying. I'm going to Denver. I'm going to the National Western. I'm headed from there to Chicago. Like, like legit living my dream, getting to do what I do. But people don't, like she said, they don't see what goes on the other 6 days of the week.
And it's almost like if you're 19, 20 doing all that, you've almost been. It's almost a disservice to, like, that person. I was at Music Fest a week or so ago, and Courtney Patton, she's a singer and a songwriter, and she was talking about, I think she might be 34, 35, maybe 36, somewhere in there, but she was talking about she'll hear a 20-year-old artist get on stage and talk about all the hard work they've had to do to get there. She's like, I've been doing this for 14 years, I mean.
Who wrote that song, Overnight Success? Gosh, I can't think of it, but it's it's a pretty funny song. It's like they've been singing in bars for 10 years before they hit their big lick,
right.
And it's like everybody's like, oh, and then they want to call you an overnight success.
No kidding.
I cannot think of who wrote that now, but I watched him in a shady, smoky bar one night. He came back to play, but he had kind of been hitting it big, and he's like, they want to call you an overnight success, but they didn't see the last 10 years.
Exactly. And that's what brought that point up. She was talking about playing shows where they legitimately hoped and wished that one person would show up. Mm-hmm. And she's married to Jason Eady, and he was going to a show somewhere I think Little Rock, somewhere in Arkansas. I think it was Little Rock. And he was going over there hoping that a couple of people would show up. And he said that he stopped at a gas station right outside of Little Rock, and this couple recognized him and were like, oh yeah, we're going to your show. And he was like, oh man, this is awesome. There's going to be some people here, So he drives into town and goes and gets to the venue and gets out, and it's the only two people there are the people that he saw at the gas station. And they were talking about playing in front of crowds of 10 or less. Yeah. And anyway, I just had a lot of respect for that. Do what?
I said, golly.
Yeah.
Golly.
But those are the memories. Like those are
right.
That's the stuff that people are going to talk about. Like if you just automatically went and played in front of 10,000 people every night, like
yeah.
Where's the ride?
Well, it was like the other day coming home, like we were all driving. Aaron Mercer, he's staying at the house right now, and had a terrible injury over the summer, and like
he's not the only one staying at the house right now.
Doctors told him that no, there's a lot of bullfighters at the house.
Cody
right
wasn't
now,
even home last week.
Like they told Mercer, like, you're done, man. Like you're not gonna fight bulls again.
Really?
And so he showed up, and we're working out and getting back in front of some live cows, but I was kind of, I don't know, we just got to talking, and I was telling him about the, like, first time I really, I was 15 years old, and I see this ad in the book that the Humps and Horns back then. You remember that? It was a big bull riding sports news.
You still get that magazine? I
still purchase that magazine, by the way, but it had like the ultimate bullfighters in there, and like the number to call and for membership and whatever. So I'm like 15, and I call this guy, and he's like, hello, and I'm like, hey, this is Cody Webster. I'm 15, but I'm talking like I'm 25, and yeah, I want to enter. I need to buy a membership, and I want to enter, and he's like, well, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 15. He's like, man, I don't know, man. Like I'm like, no, like, sell me my membership. Like I want to enter. Like I want to go. Like I'm ready.
Yeah.
He's like, kid, you're 15. And I'm like, sell me my membership. Is it $100? I've got $100. I'm gonna put it in the mail, man. He's like, nah, I finally, like, after all this hassling and going back and forth, he's like, I'm gonna have to have one of your parents or somebody's gonna have to sign for it. We can't. You're 15, man. And I'm like, I'll figure it out, So get the parent get my mom to sign that signature, and then he's like, man, I've got a spot. I can put you in Archdale here in a couple weeks if you serious. And I'm like, put me in. I'm there. I'll be there. 15, like. So sure enough, I've at this point getting ready to get a driver's license, but I've already been driving all over Oklahoma and I bought a pickup, 15 as an old half-ton Dodge, but it was mine. And so I roll up there to school, and at this point I'd already kind of been booking quite a few like junior high and high school rodeos and different stuff. So like I'd been traveling around, but I was pretty known for leaving Friday, before school's over. And there's always repercussions when I come back Monday, like, obviously because I just left. And so anyhow, like I get a flight booked, and Friday rolls around, and it's time to go to the airport. So here's a 15-year-old headed to the airport, and it's crazy. But
how'd you do?
Get a flight, get booked, fly out there. Guy picks me up and we rolled the event, you know, and like I remember just getting there and it rained from the time I got off that plane to the time I got on my plane to come home. It rained.
Outdoor event.
No, it was actually indoor, but I had just a pair of tennis shoes. I went and helped gather bulls, helped sort bulls, hauled to the event, and like we show up and it's in Archdale, North Carolina. And it's like it's a horse sale barn where they have horse sales. It's just a little punk and rolling bullfight, you know. Like back then, there was the Wrangler tour went away, and Rex's bullfights were about the only good bullfights around. But this was a little association, the UBF that was going on in North Carolina all over the place. And we roll in there and we set up these terrible galvanized panels, and you know, like if a bull really wanted to get out into the crowd, he could have got out. So we get everything set up. Like they don't have a tractor, they don't have a plow, they don't have like it's legitimately where they've been selling horses. You know how it gets where horses just walk constantly. It's like concrete.
Yeah.
And I remember walking around out there and I'm like, holy smokes, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like cleats ain't even gonna do any good here.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we get ready for the bullfight, and here comes this red car. Parks comes sliding in. Parks out jumps Evan Allard. Well, me and Evan have been fighting these junior bull ridings all over like Oklahoma for the last that year and the year before, 14, 15 years old. And what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's in the bullfight, man. Well, me too. You know, like we're good buddies, but like I didn't even know he was going.
Yeah.
And so
Evan
long
was
story
pretty
short,
notorious for sneaking off and going.
yeah, Evan was really good at like sneaking off to these smaller events and cashing in, paying the bills. So like he's like, dang man, kind of getting in my business now. These are my honey holes, you know. And so anyhow, it's like a 10-man bullfight. It's a heat of 5 and a heat of 5, and I'm in the first heat. Evan's in the second heat, and man, I nod and like we hook up and get it on. Like it was a really, really good bullfight. He ended up clipping me and kind of cutting me a flip, laying on my back. And I remember like yesterday, like I stuck my feet up to try to kick him in the head, and he ends up hooking me underneath my calves, and it cuts me a backflip, and I land on my feet and go right back to just fighting, you know.
Dang.
So I win that heat. Evan comes out, puts on just a phenomenal, great bullfight. And so like in the midst of all this, I'm trying to get bulls out. So I'm using my baggies to like bait the bulls out of the out gate. Well, this bull gets his horn in my baggies and takes them down the alley. So I take off back there. It's so muddy that my baggies, they end up stomping my baggies. I never found my baggies again. So I end up didn't have my baggies for the second round. So it come down to me and Evan in the short round. I had a really good fight, and Evan put on a clinic, ends up beating me, but I ended up second place. And like then, you know, they're paying pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So like we get they paid in cash, which was another thing that got me hooked at a young age. I was like, this is great.
Yep.
You know, got some cash money in my pocket. Ain't no more of them school meals. I'm gonna go get something to eat now, you know.
Right.
So I make it back pretty late Sunday, go to school Monday, and go to sit down first hour, and that lady's like, get out of here. Go to the office. I'm like, what the heck did I do now, you know? Forgetting
Just
about
skip
Friday.
School. No
yeah,
big
forgetting
deal.
about Friday, because I mean, I've had a weekend of my life. And go in there and sit down, and the principal is just like, man, like you can't be just leaving, dude. Like if something happens, and I'm like, yeah, I've heard it 1,000 times at this point. And anyhow, like he's like, we get into it, you know. I'm like, no, I'm bullfighting, man. Like, yeah, but it's not a school activity. It's not whatever. And I'm like, I mean, I'm beside myself. I'm like, I just go ahead and just kick me out. Like I'm ready. Like kick me out, I guess. Like that's the point I'm thinking, because it's not school activity, you know. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So like he's like, finally, after we go back and forth for a while, he's like, well, man, I'm like, what? I'm gonna have to expel you, you know. Like you're gonna have to miss some days and consequences for this, and then when you come back, you're gonna be in whatever it was, ISD. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, ISS.
Whatever
Yeah,
it is,
like
in school suspension. I'm like, whatever. I'll fine. And then finally, like towards the end of the deal, he's like, well, what did you win? I was like, yeah, 1 second. He's like, well, what'd you get? I remember just reaching in that pocket and pulling out that wad. It's like $2,200.
Yeah.
Just put that wad of cash right there, and he kind of looked at it, and I'm like, that's why I went. That's what it's about.
Daddy's making money.
But like I had already bought my pickup. I had already, paying bills at the house, helping mom, like, like pulling a lot of weight at 15 years old. So like it was just such a different deal, man. Like I didn't even think of myself as a kid, like it was just I wanted to be a professional bullfighter, and I was going to be that. And he's like, you made that in one night? And I'm like, yes, sir.
Damn right I did.
And long story short, he ended up becoming one of my, he became a really big fan, and then ended up getting things worked out to where all the days I would miss, he would excuse, he was writing it off as like a school excuse,
Dang.
So it turned out to be a really
program.
Good deal, but
yeah, pretty much.
it's just hard for people to really fathom or understand that, like, legit 18-year-old, you turn 18, and if you're really, really good, making the NFR in a year or two, or making the PBR finals, or, winning some big time money, being in this business is possible.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a teacher to understand that. Until this day, there's still a lot of teachers that comment or send messages, or, that are big supporters now. And I think that's really cool for where it's all come from.
I think, and that is a lot of money. And for rodeo cowboys, you hear $2,200 and especially early on, like, oh man, if I could do that. And then you'll have some nights where it's 500, 600. Then you have some nights where you buck off and it's nothing. But essentially, I think going back to being wise, like, you still got to be wise. Like, you had a crap truck.
Yeah.
You didn't have a brand new truck payment, on a brand new Ford or something like that. And so, like, being wise with what you do with
Well, then I ended up getting that
2200.
big Capri camper. Like, I ended up, one of my buddies was selling his Capri. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have that. Like, I'm fixing to start rodeoing. Like, so at 16, I'm buying a Capri.
Right.
And putting on this old Dodge. Like, I had to leave the tailgate down because the Capri was too big it was made for a long bed, and I had a short bed Dodge.
Right.
So, like, dude, this thing would pop a wheelie.
Yeah.
Going to the rodeos. But man, it was, I don't know, like, there was no doubt in my mind what I was going to do with my career and my life. And here we are 20 years later, and still rocking and rolling.
And rolling.
Yeah, that Capri deal, we had a flatbed truck with a...
Oh, you didn't even have the sides.
No.
But it made for like a good compartment.
Yeah.
You could put your
Got
rigging
your
bags
saddles
and
and-
your
Oh, yeah.
saddles and everything. Like, there's like
we didn't
that
get made
ledge.
fun of a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. Every rodeo.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Look
it
at
was
these
a-
hillbillies.
But that's what
It
it's
wasn't
about,
rodeo
man.
cowboys. Rodeo cowboys weren't the one making fun. It was like,
That sounds badass.
yeah, college town. Like, the only thing about it is, like, a flatbed sits higher
Yeah.
than like the bed of like a normal bed, and so it made it super top heavy, and it was real annoying to like drive in town. Got a lot of drag with the wind, but
Or going through a pass, like in Colorado. Or
oh my gosh,
going up to
Trying
Evergreen,
going up-
Colorado. Oh my God.
But dude, like,
Is it this one?
This one,
Yeah. The 08.
yeah, the 08 Dodge. Yeah.
like, legit though, like, being 17, 18, getting your card, permit, got you a camper, and like, you roll out and leave, dude. Like, I took out that summer and was still trying to go to school a little bit. And then, like, I get me a run of rodeos, and then another guy gets hurt, and I pick up a bunch more rodeos at the end of the year, and I'm like, I ain't going home.
Yeah.
School's starting. I'm out. You know,
Disclaimer:
and,
Cody Webster finished via homeschool.
like,
He didn't just quit school.
I love it. I wish you had.
Clarify.
I wish you had quit school. I wish you hadn't have got your diploma. Like, I got a lot of respect for people that like just attack like their one thing.
That accomplishment you had, I wished you wouldn't have had it.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you did, but like if somebody didn't, like,
Well,
and they got,
she's trying to like, and for all the kids watching, like, finish school.
you need to
Like,
finish.
Yeah.
if I
you're
could look back
probably
now and
not
change
Cody
something,
Webster.
I would definitely tell you to finish school and do right. Because
Yeah.
at some point, and not everybody's going to have the career that I've got to have. Thank the good Lord that things have worked out how they have. But at the same time, I think not having a plan B makes your plan A really
Exactly.
It puts it on another spectrum for
Yeah,
you.
That's
Plan B,
all
you
I'm
married
saying.
me.
Like
I did.
bingo. That's plan A.
That is plan
And the
A.
A don't
pretty
stand
much.
for Ashley. All I'm saying is just like coming from a society and coming from, like I had grandparents that just like overvalued, for instance, a college education, and it's just like to have that to fall back on.
Well, I mean,
And I'm
Ashley
just-
can
I'm
speak
just
volumes
not-
on this.
I'm not a
I'm-
fan of that being a fallback plan. Like I think that like I was destined to be an entrepreneur. Always wanted to be one. Always. And I'm glad I went to school. I had a great time and met, I got to college rodeo, which led to, like anybody I traveled with, thereafter were technically people I met in college. And so like I'm excited about that. But I guess when I do see someone like yourself who has a passion and a dream and a purpose to go do this thing, and school is only going to get in the way of that, then like keep going. Like for instance, one time I had a conversation with my granddad. We were watching a college football game. They were talking about this particular college football player. He wasn't going to go to his senior year, and he was like, he was going to go to the NFL. He was going to get in the draft, and my granddad was like, oh man, I just sure like to see him finish. I was like, why?
He can finish later.
Well, but
If
even if he
needs
isn't,
to.
like, what the hell is he
Yeah.
gonna do that he's gonna make more money
Dang, this is
Yeah.
still
than
this
a
is still
college football
push
player?
your button, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did. I was like, well,
I mean-
he just took it too far, and I'm
Yeah.
just because he ingrained it in me, and here we are, and like finally get through school and all that, and he's even this guy's like, Papa, he's going to make millions per year.
And
As soon as he
his
signs that
best
piece of
life.
paper, they're going to give him he didn't even going to
Yeah,
touch
it's
the
like there's a
field, and they're gonna
signing
put
bonus.
millions
Like
of dollars in his
he'll
bank
make
account.
more money than we've ever dreamed of if he's on the injured list.
Yeah.
Why does he need school? And he was just like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, now, obviously, there are doctors, there are lawyers, there are people that need to go to school for a
Absolutely.
thing. And I'm not knocking, I've got a degree, like I've got 2 of them.
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm just saying sometimes I've just got mad
I got a
respect
degree.
for someone.
Get it, bragging camp.
Yeah.
All I'm
Quit
trying to
bragging,
do, I kind of said that for you too. Like you got one.
Hey, don't bring me into this.
Well, I'm just saying, if you got one, great. If you're getting one, that's great. But like, as far as rodeo wise,
no, I
we're
agree.
standing next to a world champion, and he didn't finish high school. He did. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Sort of.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Sort of.
I mean, like you finished it. You had to finish it your own way.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love it. I hate telling people I got a college degree because now I know like I don't need it.
Yeah, that's why I like telling people, nah, I don't got no college degree.
There's a place for a
lot of
college
people go to
degree.
school
These
for
kids
5
graduate
years.
in high school. Like I have a master's degree and I have a certificate to sell real estate, like, and a professional certificate. And I use both of them, and they both make me a lot of money, and I love doing both of them.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, from my point where I came from and what I needed to do, I needed that college degree because I needed that job. Like I had a plan and I had it worked out, and my degree is very specific to what I do. But there's all these kids that are like, yeah, I think I'm just going to get a business degree. I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I just want a degree. Why?
Yeah.
Like there's
That's what I'm talking about.
975
Because they probably have that
billion-
grandpa.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
the only reason I
A
They
business
got that
degree.
pressure.
That's
They got
zero
that
desire.
pressure.
Yeah, I'm not knocking a business degree or whatever, but I mean, that was like everybody's go-to. I'm going to get a business degree. For like what? Like specifically, they're like, what are you going to do with that? Well, I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to do anything because 9 other people that are going to apply for this job have a general business
See,
degree.
and I'm okay with an 18-year-old not knowing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And if you got college paid for and you just want to go on a free vacation, that's fine. But like what I'm saying is I think you can not know what you want to do all the way till you're 30 and still have time to get it done. But it's like, why would you go into like this huge amount of debt doing something for a fallback? Like, well,
Yeah.
you're gonna whatever your plan A is, it better be pretty damn good because your plan B is costing you a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's going to be there, that debt.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna work my ass off and for 4 years and go into all this debt for my plan B. And it's like, man, your plan A, or if you start from zero, your plan A could be selling cotton candy and
Yeah.
it's ROI positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If that's whatever it takes is what it takes.
Because I like sales. If you can sell something, you can survive.
Yeah.
Do you need a license to sell cotton candy?
Not then, I don't think. I don't know how that works.
Should probably look into current regulations.
Wasn't worried about it.
I was thinking that.
It
Like,
depends on the town's.
you probably
permit
just
policy.
got to have permission with the rodeo.
Yeah, it was. I had to pay like a booth rent space or whatever. But dude, I remember being in the back seat of my own pickup, going to get this freaking cotton candy machine in Dallas, and my leg is, I mean, it's all propped up. I can't walk. It's in a cast, whatever. And then I remember driving home and just looking through that back window, just thinking, man, this is terrible.
Yeah, but then when you fold over that $1,000 at the end of the night, you're like, oh, it's not that terrible.
Well, Ross told me, like, Ross Hill, he was an entrepreneur, bullfighter. If you've been around him, you know him, and he was one of the rankest guys going, but he always had his cotton candy machine with him, and then later on got into like the snow cones and stuff. But like every time he'd book something, like, if you're gonna book me to fight bulls, I need a booth. And like, dude, like, he's at Ada at the big bullfights one year, and like, where's Ross? I don't know. Oh, he's over there at the cotton candy machine. Like, dude, the line is just wrapped around the arena and everything for these kids getting cotton candy. He's in the bullfight, and
yeah.
Ross, like, you need to get on your mind. You're in the next round. Yeah, I'll be there. And he's over there hustling cotton candy.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
but it got me through, man. It was, I don't know. It's whatever it takes is what it takes.
We need to maybe look at selling cotton candy
That's
at
what
the
I was
booths.
about to say at the booths. Yeah.
1 for 3, 2 for 5.
That'd be a good
These
idea.
kids will eat it up, dude. It's
Ooh, yeah, that was a
Literally.
long time ago, Webb. 1 for 5, 2 for 8.
1 for 3, 2 for 5. Let it roll,
Yeah.
baby. It's sugar.
Yeah,
It's
but
air.
but this is
Inflation.
premium. We're
Inflation.
gonna have premium cotton candy.
Oh, I had
Sugar's
premium.
gone up.
I didn't just have the blueberry and the strawberry. Like, I had
I'm
banana.
not even talking about. Maybe it comes in like a Dale Brisby sticker cup. You know what I mean?
See.
That's where the premium comes in.
I think
would.
you should probably listen to the man whose
Hey,
warehouse we're sitting in.
well, as far
maybe.
as cotton candy goes, he's the
He
expert.
can tell you how to make it, but
Excuse me?
I'm pretty sure you can tell him how to market
For an
it.
extra $20, I'll make it look like a cowboy hat for you.
Oh shoot! There you go, kids. I like the cotton candy thing just because they got to come back for more,
Yeah.
Dude, once you get them on it, they're on it.
and it's an impulse buy.
And
Like, you ain't
they're
got to
coming.
think about whether you want to spend $5 on cotton candy. Yeah, I'll get it.
Yep.
They walk
Yep.
by at a rodeo occasionally. I'm like, gosh, these people are walking. Give me one of them cotton candies, please.
It's way
Right.
different than real estate. Like
Yeah.
you'll buy cotton candy from a cotton candy salesman just to get them to shut up.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, okay, here's $5. Just
Dude,
now leave
I
me
would
alone.
though, man. Like, I would stand there. Like, I had like a bench to where I could prop my leg up and have that cast hanging off the backside, so I could kind of stand there. And they had that bubble, and dude, I could sit there and just whip up some cotton candy. Like, it.
We need to get in the cotton candy.
Apparently,
Next.
we need to whip out this machine.
Next.
Like, so we can.
You done talking about cotton candy?
Yeah, I'm done talking about it.
Yeah. Well, you're just getting us excited. We're talking about being entrepreneurs. That's how it came back.
I'm going to
So
get on YouTube and learn how to run one.
do it, man. Do it.
Oh, Jerry's in town is going to. Hey, you can't be selling that out here.
Jerry ain't gonna care.
No.
Well,
Not today,
we
Jerry.
wrap up each podcast with life advice. So we will hear from the realtor first. What you got for life advice?
The faster you learn that you don't probably know nothing, the more you'll learn in life.
Bingo. I like that.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Or I guess live like you don't know nothing. You'll learn a lot more, I guess. You probably know something, but not a lot of people probably care.
Keep your mouth shut and do the job.
Yeah.
I can't remember which intern I was talking to. We were talking about going to different ranches, and like even like an asshole will kind of soften up and help a humble person wanting to learn.
Yeah.
Because even if they're an extreme a-hole, they at least like to hear themselves talk. Maybe. But they'll help somebody like that.
Yeah.
But when you act like you know, nobody wants to
Nobody
help
cares.
somebody like that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to help a know-it-all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. I like that. What you got, Webb?
Man, I don't know. All the talk we've had today, I mean, anybody out there that is struggling or contemplating on chasing what they love doing and going after, like, you got to legit live it, breathe it, and go after it, and give it everything you got, and you might make it one day.
Yeah.
Might.
One thing I've been struggling with, I was talking to somebody, me and Cole, the newest intern, we're talking about, like, there's things that you got to do, like discipline. A Mike Tyson quote was, discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it, and,
like working out.
Like working out.
I take
cold showers.
It's got to be done.
I take cold showers every morning, for like the last year, at least, maybe longer than that, and I hate it. Every time I take a cold shower, I hate it. But when I get out, like, I love the mental win of having gone through that. Like, now I've accomplished something. I've won. And like, I hate running. And so I've been trying to run every day, and but like, having done that, now all of a sudden, if it's 7 o'clock, I've already taken a cold shower and I've already ran longer, further than I normally do. Like I don't like to do those things, but I'll do them anyway. And I think that's discipline. So I'm going to go with the Mike Tyson quote. Discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it.
I like that.
So.
Good, Donnie.
Do whatever it takes.
Bingo.
Sometimes you got to change the way you look at things.
Yeah.
Have a different attack plan.
Bingo. I like that. Lift and stay back.
Leroy.
Our doubts are traitors that make us lose the good we often might win by fearing to attempt. Shakespeare.
Dang.
Also, Gary LeFew.
Dang.
Gary LeFew said that.
Shakespeare by way of Gary LeFew. That's good.
Woo.
Luna
That's good.
Desperados.
Yeah.
2 goat ropings and a county fair.
Dude, I'm ready to go get this. Let's get this video started.
We got one more deal we got to do, which you're going to like. Well, first we got to eat lunch. But yeah, then we're going to go do that thing.
What's the deal?
I'll tell you about it later. Thank you for listening, watching. Rodeo Time, the podcast, episode like 90 or something like that. We're keeping it 90. So text me, 940-353-0890, and we are on to the next one.